Okay, in this lesson, I'm going to explain how to convert rates. Okay, so in the past lessons, we talked about speed of something or the velocity of something. Those are all particular rates. Okay, but a lot of those rates can be converted to different unit measures. So here's what I mean. We all know inches. Okay, we also know that 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. Okay, another unit measure is ounces. Okay, some of you may or may not know that 16 ounces is equal to 1 pound. And we also know centimeters. And 100 centimeters is equal to 1 meter. So there are a lot of different unit measures like ounces, pints, gallons, yards, and so on and so forth, depending on what you're measuring. And a lot of things can be converted from one to the other. So let's take a look at a particular example. So a remote control car can travel at a rate of 10 feet per second. How many inches per second is this? Okay? So we read that at a medium speed. We're going to read this a little slower. A remote control car can travel at a rate of 10 feet per second. Okay, so the speed is equal to 10 feet per 1 second. The question here is, how many inches per second is this? Okay, so we need to somehow convert the 10 feet in the numerator to some number expressed in inches per second. So we're okay with the denominator. It's the numerator that has to change. So how do we do this? This is where knowing how many inches there are in a foot makes a big difference. Okay? So what we're going to do is multiply this ratio by 12 inches per 1 foot. Now, watch what happens. We're going to multiply the numbers together, but the unit measures will also cancel out. Here's what I mean. When we multiply the numerator, across the numerator, we get 120. Okay? I'm going to leave out the unit measures for now. Per, and then the denominator, 1 times 1 is 1. Okay? Now, you have feet, 10 feet, or the unit measure feet in the numerator, and we also have the unit measure feet in the denominator. Okay? So these cancel out. Okay? The unit measure cancels out. So what we're left with is 120 inches per 1 second. Okay, so the question in this problem asks us how many inches per second is this? Well, we just calculated it. It's 120 inches per second. Okay, so that is our answer. Pretty straightforward, right? Okay, so let's try another problem with a little bit higher of complexity. So a swordfish can swim at a rate of 60 miles per hour. How many feet per per minute is this? Okay, so let's read this one more time, but a little slower. A swordfish can swim at a rate of 60 miles per hour. Okay, so we have speed is equal to 60 miles per 1 hour. Okay, and the question is, how many feet per minute is this? Okay, so we have miles per hour, and we need to convert this to feet per minute. Okay, so we need to find out a couple things. Okay, first we need to know how many feet there are in a mile. Okay, so I'm going to write it off to the side here. 1 mile is equal to 5,280 feet. Okay, and 1 hour, this is the second thing we need to find out. 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. Okay, so these are the ratios or proportions or equivalents that we need to know to solve this problem. Okay, so now we're going to take care of the numerator first by converting it from miles to feet. And to do that, you've got to multiply this ratio, okay, by 5,280 feet per 1 mile. Okay? And then we also need to convert the hours into minutes. So we need to also multiply this ratio by 1 hour per 60 minutes. Okay? Now, here's what's going to happen. Before you start multiplying, we need to cancel some things out. Okay? We have miles in the numerator, so we're going to cross that off because there's a mile in the denominator. Okay? And we have hour in the numerator and an hour in the denominator. Okay? Unit measures. So we're going to cross those out. So those cancels out. Those cancel out. Then we also have a 60 in the numerator and a 60 in the denominator. So we can cancel those out too. Okay, so we knock this out and we knock this out. Okay, then what is left is 5,280 feet over 1 minute. Okay, so let's go back to the question in the problem. We are to find out how many feet per minute is this. Lo and behold, we have feet per minute. So the answer is, when a swordfish swims at a rate of 60 miles per hour, it is the equivalent of 5,280 feet per minute. Okay, so let's just do one more problem so that it starts to make even more sense. Marvin walks at a speed of 7 feet per second. How many feet per hour is this? Okay, so let's read it again, but a little bit slower. Marvin walks at a speed of 7 feet per second. Okay, so we're going to say speed is equal to 7 feet per 1 second. The question is, how many feet per hour is this. Okay, so we already have feet per second. We need to change it to feet per hour. Okay, so what we need to know is the ratio of hour to seconds. So I'm going to write it to the side here, and we say that 1 hour is equal to 3,600 seconds. Okay, because there are 60 minutes in an hour, 60 seconds in a minute, therefore 3,600 seconds is equivalent to 1 hour. Okay, once we have that ratio, we can now multiply the 7 feet per second by 3,600 seconds per 1 hour. Okay? Now look what happens. The seconds unit measure cancel out, and we're left with feet per hour, which is what we want. So we need to multiply 3,600 by 7. Okay? And I'm going to do the calculations off to the side. 3,600 times 7. 0, 0, 2, carry the 4, 25,200. Okay? So then this becomes 25,200, and the only unit measure left in the numerator is feet. Okay? And the denominator, 1 times 1 is 1. And the only unit measure left is hour. Okay, so let's take a look at the question. How many feet per hour is this? We have feet per hour, and therefore your answer is 25,200 feet per hour. Okay, so you guys might be wondering, how do I know what to multiply by? Like sometimes you have one unit measure over another, and then sometimes you have a different kind of unit measure over another. Okay, here's what I mean. Sometimes I multiply by 1 hour over 60 minutes. Okay, and then sometimes I multiply by 60 minutes over 1 hour. Okay, or 1 foot over 12 inches, or 12 inches over 1 foot. Okay, it really doesn't matter which way you multiply. You can flip those around however you want, because these are all equal to 1, right? They're all equivalents. They're all the same. This is equal to that. This is equal to this. Okay? 1 foot per 12 inches, or 12 inches per 1 foot. They're all the same. These are all equal to 1. 1, 1, 1. Okay? So, depending on what unit measures you want to convert, you could flip these around however you want. Okay? This was something that was never explained to me when I was taught this, and it was very confusing. So hopefully I've helped to clarify this. If any of this is unclear, make sure to go back to the video and listen to this again to help clarify things. Thank you.